But right now it is time to turn our attention to finances. My Money Story. It's a segment where we sit down with a successful person and learn more about their story and relationship with money. And today we meet a woman who started off with a music blog and is now the editor of one of the country's biggest online music portals.
So it's time once again for hashtag My Money Story, where each week we sit down with someone who's made a success in their chosen field to learn more about their journey with money and the lessons that they've learned along the way. And today we're joined by Tecla Ciolfi, who has made the business of music her game. And she's founded one of South Africa's biggest music blogs, Tex and the City. And she's also the editor of the online music platform Deezer in Africa. Great to have you here. Also joined on the couch by our financial planner, our certified financial planner from the Wealth Room, Mr. Grant van Sale. How are you, Tecla?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
It's been a while. Last time we saw each other, we were on a jet plane to Johannesburg to a concert.
I know, we were to go and see Armin van Buuren. It's one of the best evenings I've ever had.
But we won't talk about that.
No, we won't.
What we are here to talk about is your history with money. And so I want to know, what is your first memory ever of money?
Sure. Well, I think I've been incredibly fortunate in the fact that I have parents who, from a very early age, taught me the value of money. But that unfortunately also meant that I never got pocket money because they made me work for every single I know. I mean, like, I can't even... I've washed my father's car so many times. I washed the dishes and did the washing and literally did every chore. But
don't get cats started,
but
please.
The stories I can tell you.
But my thing was I wanted money to buy CDs, so I was always working towards, like, my first CD I ever bought was that Spice Girl CD, and I mean I was a big
Spice up your life. What is it?
Spice
World.
Spice World.
La 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 la.
That's the one, yeah.
I know the song, yeah.
So I was always working in order to buy CDs and cassettes, and yeah, because they
Did that do anything for you? Your parents being so hard on you about money, do you think it did anything beneficial for you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it taught me the value of hard work, firstly. Sure. But then, secondly, I don't think that enough parents include their children in financial planning, especially when they, when my parents would talk about money, they would talk about money in front of me, and they would include me in family discussions, which I thought was very interesting. So, if, like, at the end of the month, I wanted something, and then they'd be very honest with me, and they'd be like, listen, we can't afford it this month, or wait for next month, or, so how many cars are you willing to wash in order to get that CD?
That just sounds to me like the makings of a very smoothly running parliament, where everyone is like, what is your opinion on this, Tecla, Minister of Washing Cars? Then it worked out. It worked out. And we're gonna open up a bit more and find out about the hard financial lessons that you've had to learn along the way that have shaped your idea of money, your perception of wealth.
Well, I think because my parents did include me in discussions like that, as soon as I left school and started varsity and I started working, odd jobs, I was a bartender, and I was doing odd freelance, writing pieces. I started a budget, so I knew exactly what money was coming in, exactly what I was spending it on. So from a very early age, I started to plan financially, which I think is really good because it taught me, like, crazy
Very
skills.
good, yeah.
You must be loaded right now.
Anyway.
Do you see how she just sprinkled past that? Just like, okay, you're right.
And then I think when I started Tex in the City, I started it just as a procrastination, because I didn't want to work in the UCT library. I didn't want to sort of like do any varsity work. So I started with, my ramblings, and people really liked it, and then it became a fully fledged website. And now I'm sort of in the process of wanting to register it as a business, and I'm looking at office space for my team. I mean, we're a team of 15 people now, which is amazing.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, and I've had Tex in the City now for 6 years. So I've kind of like, this is now.
That's incredible. Congratulations on that
done.
massive
Thank you
success.
so much.
And judging by all the wows and the incredibles that have come from you, Grant, I'm assuming that you agree in the way in which her parents brought her up in regards to money, how she grew up with it and how it's formed, right? But when we come back, of course, we know this is the hard question for you. We're going to find out about what Tecla is still struggling with and how you can help her. So make sure that you still stay tuned for our next segment of hashtag My Money Story.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Well, this morning we are continuing our money journey and kind of thinking about how what we've learned in the past has helped us make better money decisions. Here's part 2 of My Money Story.
And so we're back again with hashtag My Money Story with our special guest, Tecla Ciolfi, who is the founder of Tex and the City and also editor of Deezer in Africa. Earlier on, we found out that her earliest memory of money were the days she had to slave away, slogging away, washing her parents' cars and doing chores to learn the value of money. And now she is loaded and living her best.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
I'll retract that last thing. We said that we're going to start with this second segment about asking you, what is it that you still struggle with from a financial point of view that you'd like to learn about?
Well, I suppose how to make more money. It's always, you know, and saving as well. I struggle with saving. But going forward, I'd want to invest in, I guess I'd want to buy a property. I've always been told that property is something good to invest in. But I mean, are there other forms of investment? Are there other ways other things I can invest in? I mean, you're the guru.
And perhaps we should also just take this, you know, from the viewpoint of the angle that Tecla did say to us that she's looking at expanding into getting office spaces for her business.
Yeah.
So that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So it's a business investment and then also personal investment.
Yeah.
You know, two different glasses you're looking at that.
Yeah, so I think those are fantastic questions. Well done. I think from an entrepreneurial perspective, it's always a difficult balance, you know, between putting yourself into like a personal space and a business space, because it's actually combined, right?
Yeah.
It's not separated at all. So in a situation like yourself, you're going to find that entering into new business propositions, you're going to need as much cash flow as possible. So buying a property at this time frame might not necessarily be the best solution for you, because you might need that additional cash flow to support certain things that come along. And I can promise you now, as an entrepreneur, there's always going to be something that comes along.
Dodgy hidden expenses.
Yeah, there's always something, and you're always going to get caught out somewhere along the line. But what I'm kind of hearing from yourself is there other investments other than property, and is property a good investment? So, and I think if we look at the figures, and there's a lot of articles out there at the moment that are showing the growth rates of property in South Africa, and the only place that's really got a good growth rate is Cape Town at 8%. But if we look at 8% in the Cape Town, the Sea Point, and all these sort of Atlantic board, to get into that market is extremely expensive. So you're going to be paying quite a bit of money. It's like one of the biggest investments you're ever going to make to get 8% on your money. So my question is, what is the opportunity cost? So what are you losing out on if you had to take that money and invest it somewhere else? So let's take your business, for example. What do you expect your business to grow on per annum? So how much so if your business is going to grow at 20% per annum, why would you invest in a property that's going to grow at 8% per annum? Yeah, you see, or even if it's 10%.
Yeah.
So those are, I would say, is most probably a better investment solution. So what we do as individuals is we say, we want a property and we want it now. So I'm saying, well, you can get your property, but right now might not be the best solution, because with your current situation, you might need your cash flow for something else. But the most important thing in all of this is what we call compounded interest. The earlier you get started with compounded interest, the better it can start growing for you and make your money work for you. So there is other solutions like unit trusts or something like those that might actually serve you a little bit better than buying property at the moment. You'll find a lot of the MBA students and that today aren't even buying property anymore because of the growth rates. So if you're in an area that's growth rate on property is 5%, plus you've got a bond which you're paying 10.5% on. So let's take R1 million property. Over the 20 years, you're paying 3 million rand for R1 million property. It's not really R1 million. However, there is ways to make money on property, and you make your money when you buy the property, not when you sell it. So you need to make sure you understand the market very well. Make sure you get a big discount towards the market. Make sure you got big deposits so it's not all bonded, so that you can do it. And the reason why a lot of people want to use property is because they can feel it, you know, it's a tangible thing. Whereas if you're investing money, you can't tangibly feel it and see it, you know. And that's where we get caught out. So I would say in your kind of space, it might be better off for you to rent apartments. It's going to cost you, let's say, 15 or 20,000 rand a month, but to buy that place is going to cost you 40,000 rand a month. And then you've got the extra cash flow to put it into other areas that are going to grow and have more potential at this point. eventually when you get to a point when you're settling down in life, the kids come along and all that sort of stuff, then you might want to nest, and then you might want to chill out, and then your growth potential on the other avenues might slow down, and then you swap it around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all about this balancing out. And I always try to tell entrepreneurs, like, don't separate your personal life and your business life because they're so intertwined. Money is money. It's not going to say, oh, wait, I'm going to be like in the personal space and then over here I'm in the business. Money wants to make money, so you need to make it work in both avenues.
That's so interesting. I never thought about that. I always thought of them as two separate entities, and I've never looked at them as one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Link ups
most
maybe.
creatives do that.
Oh, ow. Well, perhaps a chance for you guys to link up some more and chat some. But I think one big takeout from this is that, from you, what you just said now, Grant, is that time is really money.
Yeah.
And money is time. Depending on where you are in your life, yes, you want a property, but it might not be the right time right now for you to buy it. All right, interesting stuff on #MyMoneyStory. Let us know your thoughts and please connect with us online. And of course, use our #ExpressoShow.